Happy hump day, everybody. Hope your day is going well. Thanks for stopping by. Also, stop by my YouTube music channel. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. I'm Jamie Totten, and this is Here's the Thing. Today's topics, some NFL, some music, and of course, the election watch. Let's start with tomorrow's NFL matchup. Okay, the Bills versus the Dolphins. The Buffalo Bills are heading to South Beach to take on the Miami Dolphins. The Bills have won 4 out of the last 5 games against the Dolphins. Last year they split the regular season matchups. The Dolphins won 21-19 in the first game, and the Bills won the second game 32-19. Also, Buffalo won the wild card matchup against the Dolphins 34-31 last season. Now, the Buffalo Bills have been knocking on the door of the Super Bowl for a few years now. And so they've been having some good years, but they just can't get past you know who, Patrick Mahomes. So, but Josh Allen against the Dolphins. Now, against the Dolphins, Josh Allen averages 280 passing yards and 32.9 points per contest. And he has a passer rating of 110.1 against these Dolphins. The Bills have lost their top receiver, Stephon Diggs, to Houston. And veteran Gabe Davis has left also. So they'll be relying on receivers Khalil Shakir, Curtis Samuels, Marquez Valdez Scantling, and Chase Claypool. Now, those guys, I'm sure some of you all have heard those names before. They are pretty good. Those receivers are pretty good. I do know about Marquez Valdez Scantling and Chase Claypool. So those two I know are pretty good. Okay, the Bills have won their division 4 years in a row. Josh Allen last week against Arizona was 18 of 23 for 232 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. The Bills D was ranked number 9 last season. Now, James Cook is the top running back for the Bills. Last week against Arizona, he had 19 carries for 71 yards. The Dolphins are coming off a win against the Jaguars, 20-17. We know who the top dog is for the Dolphins. The cheetah, Tyreek Hill. Yes, sir. Quarterback Tua Tango Baloa also has Jalen Waddle to pass to. So those two, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, they are a serious duo. They are really good. Of course, you know how good Tyreek is. They don't call him the cheetah for nothing. You know, he's a fast man. And also Jalen Waddle is no joke. Now, Tua's passer rating against the Bills is 77.4. Mind you, Josh Allen against the Dolphins is 110.1 passer rating. So Josh Allen has a great time against these Dolphins, but Tua, he doesn't play that bad against the Dolphins. A 77.4 passer rating. But he also has 6 touchdowns against the Bulls and 7 interceptions, though. Now, Tua, he has a hard time playing against these Dolphins. He only won one game out of the 6 matches against the Bills. He is 1-6 against the Bills. That's not good. That's not good at all. The Dolphins' running game dudes are split between Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane, and Jeff Wilson. They all combined last week for a total of 128 yards. However, Raheem Mostert has been ruled out for Sunday's contest. Tua was 23 of 37 for 338 yards, 1 touchdown, and no interceptions last week against the Jags. I mean, that's a lot of that. Tua having a game like that, you would think they would have scored more points. But hey, they did win the game, so that's what counts. Now, the Bills going into South Beach. I am thinking that the Dolphins, they play pretty good when they're at home. It's just that when they leave Miami, especially when it gets cold, they just fall off. But early in the season, it's still warm. It's always warm in South Beach though, but I think that I would give the edge to the Dolphins in tomorrow night's game. Simply because Tua, you got to prove it. You got to prove you can beat these guys at least at home early in the season. You should be able to pull it off. And I think the Dolphins will pull it off. So that's where I'm going. My prediction tomorrow is the Dolphins beat the Bills. Okay. Now, my best singing groups. You know, the groups that, the guys and ladies with steps and moves and while they're singing and all that. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, those people. Okay, now I got 5 of them. Number 5 on my list is the Four Tops. They had some big hits, Can't Help Myself, Reach Out, I'll Be There, Baby, I Need Your Loving. It's the same old song. They were the biggest. And those guys, they could really sing. They could do what they could. They could sing and they could move. Not as good as some of the other people, but they could sing better than they could move. Yeah, they wasn't much of a movers. They weren't moving too good to me. Their moves were not as precise as some of the groups back then. Okay, but they could really sing and they had some big hits. So, they're number 5. Number 4, the Spinners. I really love the Spinners, man. I really like that group. One of the lead singers was Felipe Wynn. And he could straight out sing. Yes, sir. And he could take you to church and, and do it all, man. He's a bad man. They had a slew of hits like I'll Be Around, It's a Shame, Mighty Love, and of course, Sadie. Don't you know we love you, sweet Sadie? Yes, sir. So they are number 4 on my list. And I used to really like seeing them. Well, you know, on TV. I never saw them in person, but I see them now on YouTube and stuff like that. And they were one of my favorite groups. I love those songs, I'll Be Around, It's a Shame. I really love those songs. Okay, they were number 4. Number 3, The Supremes. Yes, my all-time favorite female singing group. They are the Supremes. Those ladies were style and elegance personified. I mean, they had it all. They had hits like "Stop in the Name of Love," "You Can't Hurry Love," "Someday We'll Be Together," and much, much more. They, the last two, so they're number 3. The Supremes are number 3. The elegant female singing group, The Supremes, number 3. Number 2. Now these last two, they could go either way. They could go either way. But number 2 on my list is the Tempin' Temptations. Yes, sir. The Temps. Boy, those were some cool cats. I mean, in the beginning, they were called the Hitless Temptations, the no-hit Temptations. They couldn't get a hit. Then came hit after hit after hit after hit. I mean, they started off with "My Girl," and you know that was a big, big hit. And then "You Can't Get Next to You," "The Way You Do the Things You Do," just to name a few. Those cats were sharp as a tack, and they were the best moving group I've ever seen in my life back then. You know, they don't really have those type of groups anymore, but you know, back then they were the sharpest and they were the most precise with their moves. And they had David, David Ruffin, and you know, Eddie, Eddie Kendricks, Melvin. Those were the voices. Those were the voices. They were so good. They were really, really good. Okay, now, number 1 on my list is, this is my list. I can have number 1 where I want it at. I can have whoever I want on number 1. Number 1 is the Jackson 5. Yes, sir. Led by little Michael Jackson. You know, 5 black kids doing that thing was great for a black kid like me to behold. Y'all know the hits. I Want You Back, ABC, The Love You Save, and my favorite Christmas song, I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus. Yes, I did. Yes, that is such a cool song, man. I love that song. So Jackson 5 are number 1. So let me run it back to you. Number 5 were the Four Tops. Big hits like "Can't Help Myself," "Reach Out," "Baby I Need Your Lovin'," the same old song. The Spinners with hits like "I'll Be Around," "It's a Shame," "Mighty Love," "Sadie." You have number 3, the Super Supremes, most elegant women that I saw back then. You know, with the hits "Stop in the Name of Love," "You Can't Hurry Love," "Someday We'll Be Together." Really, really good songs. Number 2, the Tempin' Temptations, Jack. Yeah, "My Girl," "Can't Get Next to You," just to name a couple and a few. And number 1, the Jackson 5, led by the man, little Michael Jackson. You know, "I Want You Back," ABC, "The Love You Save," "I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus." All-time favorite Christmas song. Yes, it is. Okay, now let's get to election watch. Last night's debate. I watched a lot of debates. I've seen candidates that I support win some and lose some. But I've never seen anyone get it handed to them the way Vice President Harris handed it to Trump. He handled Trump, she handled Trump like he was a kid, like he was a teenager, a young teenager. You know, Vice President Harris was on top of her game, and Trump looked like a raging lunatic at times. Vice President Harris was putting forth policy ideas, and Trump was telling lies about people stealing and eating other people's pets. Talking about people were eating dogs and cats in Ohio. And if folks say, where you get that from? I read it. You read it. So you want to be president. And so you read that and you think it's true, or you think it's cool to repeat it. Gosh, man. Also, he's talking about women having babies and killing them, you know. What do you... Okay. Such nonsense coming from a person who wants to get his hands on the nuclear codes. Wow. Really? We had to fight to get the guy to give back our secret documents. You know? We had to fight to get the secret documents from him. It took, what, a year to get them back after he left office? Wow, man. And some people actually want that guy back in office? Unbelievable. I don't understand that. And I don't understand how anyone claiming that they love this country would want to put this country in the hands of this guy. I don't understand it. I mean, it's not like you don't have a track record on this guy. We saw what he did when he was in there. You know, if you love this country, you might want to act like it. You know, you say you love it, but I don't know if you're voting for Trump. Hey, but look, this guy should not be getting anywhere close ever again to the White House. Now, if you didn't see the debate last night, I suggest that you Google it and just see the difference between an actual candidate and someone who's actually just trying to stay out of jail. Okay, now we have a choice. And we can do something about the things that we aren't comfortable with in this country by voting. And when I say not comfortable, I mean the guns, for one thing. It's just too much with the guns. But, like I said, if you didn't see the debate, I would suggest that you go on YouTube and watch it. Very, very interesting. If you don't know who Kamala Harris is, if you don't know who Vice President Kamala Harris is, or if you don't know what she stands for, I suggest you check out that debate and see the contrast between the two. All right, thanks for stopping by again, folks. Have a great evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Peace.